guess we all remember conference last year. Her speech last year was remembered for being pretty disastrous. You know, she lost her voice, the stage was invaded by a prankster, and then the letters spelling out the party's slogan started falling off the wall behind her. So the expectations for this speech were pretty low, and she did manage to surpass them. But I think, you know, is this going to change things a lot for her? Probably not. And her Brexit plan remains pretty unpopular. The only thing that's going for it is that it's the only one that really stands a chance of getting through Parliament and solving the issue of the Irish border. So, you know, has it solved her problems on Brexit? No, it hasn't. Has she emerged stronger in her position as leader? Yes, I think she has. But I think that effect is likely to be pretty short-lived. And I think, you know, did the Tory party conference sort of move the dial in any particular direction? You know, not especially. But it was revealing that the Eurosceptics didn't dominate the conference in the way that I think they were hoping to.
Yes, Richard, and I think that's significant when you talk about the chances of getting through Parliament. We're hearing reports just this morning that now the Prime Minister is planning to rush through her Brexit deal through Parliament, trying to stave off this rebellion from her own party. Ultimately, do you think she gets the parliamentary okay?
I mean, that's a tough question. My view, my central case is that the biggest uncertainty in the Brexit negotiations is whether a deal is agreed between the EU27 and the UK. So in my view, if we do get a deal between those two parties, I think the chances of it going through Parliament are pretty good. And the reason for that, you know, there are a few reasons, but I think in particular, I think there is and one of the things that really came through in conference this year was that there really is a big fear of another general election, which could lead to a quite a left-wing government under the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn. And you know, increasingly, if there isn't necessarily an acceptance of the Prime Minister's Chequers plan, there's no enthusiasm for it, there is also a feeling that, you know, it's the best that they have at this stage. And I think, you know, the way that this is going to happen when it goes through Parliament is it's going to be left right until the last minute, where the only alternative will be leaving with no deal at all, which will be absolutely, it will be very disruptive to MPs' constituents. And I think, you know, if the alternative is no deal, then really only the sort of manic hardliners are likely to vote against it. And I think that probably goes. You know, not just for the Conservative Party. I think that it's probably. I think the likelihood of her getting support from other parties is probably a little bit higher than maybe people think, just because I think that the consequences of voting down the deal, you know, completely are so negative. Which isn't to say it might not have a pretty bumpy ride going through Parliament, and you could imagine it maybe being voted down once, and then perhaps, you know, markets falling out of bed, and then, you know, having another go, a little bit like what happened sort of after the GFC in the US. But I think ultimately it seems quite unlikely to me that the that the UK Parliament votes it down altogether, because and I think one of the key reasons for that is that there's no mechanism for forcing a general election.
Yep.
So even if you vote down the deal, you're not actually forcing a general election. You are potentially just staying with the same old government, but, you know, just with no deal.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.